Hello, MrVanleider here. Apologies in advance because today's video may not be funny. Yeah, I know, neither are any of the others. Today I just want to talk about the riots that have engulfed my homeland over the last week or so, and just give you my take on it really. Then I want you to all get super involved down in the comment section. Whatever you think about it, the debate can continue down there. It will sort of be like the comment section of a really serious broadsheet newspaper, except more people in the comments will have pointless X's in their names. Yeah. Now the images and stuff and the people that have been seen in those images and videos of the riots over the last few weeks are generally young people, young men mostly, of a not dissimilar age to the average age of someone who watches Call of Duty videos on YouTube. So I think that whatever anyone has to say from that demographic is probably quite relevant. Before I get into what I think, I'm just going to put the facts up on screen now, as best as I can. Anyway, it's all happened in the last couple of weeks, so it's not really 100% clear what happened yet, but I'll try to keep the facts separate from my opinions. Okay, so you see there on the Thursday, a chap called Mark Duggan was shot by police in Tottenham in London. Saturday came and there was a peaceful protest during the afternoon outside the police station at the death of Mark Duggan. And later on into the evening, fighting and rioting began there, and it's possibly other people involved from those who were involved with the peaceful protest earlier in the evening. And then in the next evenings after that, rioting spread to other parts of London, and there you see other parts of the UK on the final couple of days. If you're not in the UK, those final places are entirely separate cities. So what do I think? Well, first of all, I think that in some cases, people, especially black people and people from other ethnic minority groups, but also people more generally, have a right to be protected from the police, not just in terms of not being shot by them, but also in policemen often not being held accountable when they do cross the line. I think that they should be held to a higher standard. For example, a guy, Ian Tomlinson, was killed by police at a protest in 2009. He was just a bystander at the protest. There have been 300 deaths of something like that, of people in police custody over the last 10 years or so, and no policeman's ever been convicted of anything. Now I appreciate that most of the 300 deaths, they're probably not the fault of the police, but I have to be honest, if 300 people died whilst they were, for example, in my living room, I'm pretty sure that I'd at least be thoroughly investigated, if not end up doing some time for something. So I think that people have the right to be to expect that if they'd be arrested for whatever reason, it's not going to be looked upon differently if the police end up killing you whilst in police care. But having said that, a lot of the reporting in the papers, on the TV, has focused on the link between this shooting of Mark Duggan and the riots happening. But it's not like this was the same scenario as like the LA riots in 1992. In those riots, there were 3 or 4 policemen, and they basically beat the hell out of the African-American motorist Rodney King, and someone taped it, and it was shown on TV. Obviously, he was pretty defenseless, and it was a pretty sustained beating, and people were obviously pretty unhappy about that after the police were acquitted. The difference with London was that this Mark Duggan guy had a gun. or at least there was a gun found at the scene of the shooting. Now, to an American, that probably doesn't change what Mark Duggan was doing very much, i.e. Just being a black guy with a gun. However, in the UK, all handguns are banned. He's breaking the law just by having a gun. So you got to ask yourself, why have the gun? Now, obviously, facts haven't come completely to light yet. Maybe the police did shoot him too quickly, or maybe they didn't follow the procedure, or whatever. And regardless of whether that happened or not, people have a right to protest about it. It's clear that there were plenty of people, however, that didn't just want to protest, they wanted to go absolutely mental. The other big problem with the media reporting that Mark Duggan getting shot was what caused these riots was it makes it seem like the black community was the only people rioting, or there was just people who were annoyed by the shooting having taken place local to the area or whatever, and it's just not true. For a start, the people in the other parts of the country, in Manchester, in Birmingham or Liverpool, do you think they cared about Mark Duggan? I think they probably just saw that law and order had fallen apart and they wanted to smash him shit up or steal something or whatever. In all over the place, in London or wherever, the people involved were from all sort of backgrounds and all races, and there's plenty of variety in London. Even on the first night of the riots in Tottenham, the people who attended the peaceful protest said it was other people who weren't at the protest who started the violence, like, hey Steve, we're off to protest against police brutality. You want to come? Nah, I'll just stay in bed, thanks. An hour later, hey Steve, people are out stealing things and setting light to buildings. Oh, I'm so there. I'm there. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that the people who are rioting were obviously generally pretty bad people, and should be pretty strongly punished, I should think. Brings us on to the next part, which is basically what do we do about the riots having happened, and politicians from both left and right seem to have their own views, and I'm not sure that any of the views are any good. People on the right of the political spectrum tend to think that the people rioting should be punished really, really harshly and sent to prison and all of the rest of the things. But they also think that taxes should be cut so that the areas and the communities that which are generally pretty poor areas and communities get owned, son. Should have the support that they currently get, which is probably fairly limited as it is, cut further so we can save money. But then they also want to spend loads of money in really harsh sentences for these people and locking them up, and it costs £80,000 to send someone to prison or something like that in a year. It costs a hell of a lot of our money, and I'm not really convinced that we should be necessarily sending people to prison when they're already full and it's already costing us a ton of money and we're trying to save money elsewhere. It just doesn't make sense. But obviously these people should be punished. So what I think should happen is we should get lots of shit done for free. Like, we should round the people up and they should be forced to clean chewing gum off the streets, or resurface new roads, or anything that otherwise would cost taxpayers money to get done. We should be getting done for free by labour from these people that clearly haven't got anything better to do other than smash up various towns and cities throughout the country. The left's response to this is equally stupid. They want to spend loads more money on benefits and stuff, and for a lot of these people, they're already on benefits. They're not particularly interested. They're perfectly prepared to riot as it is, and I just don't think that that's money well spent either. So there has to be a middle ground. Love to know what you think, and sorry the video was a bit downbeat.